Hello, my name is Ann Purvis and I'm one of the leaders of the Toronto Field Naturalist Juniors program. This is our fourth week of a 10-week program and we would welcome anyone to join us who wishes to. We like to start our slideshows each week with artwork that anyone has submitted. These are mandalas created by Abby and Amelia this week. Amelia shared that her first effort was the center one here, and she found that she liked it much better when she put this border of beans around the outside. So all of the materials used were natural materials. I found an explanation of what a mandala is. It is a geometric pattern that is supposed to represent the cosmos. Each object represents an aspect of wisdom that a person can meditate on. So it made me wonder if having a border or a structure within which a piece of art is created is somehow reflects the way things really are in nature. I wondered if you could build one of these around a plant that is sprouting to make it stand out more. I got the idea of decorating nature with nature from these mandalas. My grandson and I decorated a white spruce tree with dandelions and turned it into a Christmas tree. We discovered that it had its own little light bulbs while we were working. Check out these cute little red baby pine cones. Thanks to Amara for these lovely drawings of the Blackburnian warbler and the bobcat. Amara said she got interested in bobcats because she's so fond of domestic cats. I learned that bobcats eat mainly cottontail rabbits in the south, and we saw one of these in our slideshow last week. Bobcats have been moving into lynx territory further north, and when they are there, they live on snowshoe hares, so they do compete with lynx for that food source. I thought we would organize the rest of our slides according to habitat this week rather than a type of creature. So this is clearly marsh, and many of us have been visiting marshes in the last little while, and it's clear who's been hard at work here. This is a beaver lodge, and I have never seen a beaver lodge with an exit hole on land, and obviously the beaver has been gnawing away on the tree on the left. The picture on the right is interesting because you can see the old course that the river used to go down. This is a beaver dam that the beaver have built right across the river, and it was so effective that it actually diverted the river to go swing to the left here. Marina and Sonia saw this killdeer at Courtright Conservation Area. Killdeer nest by laying their eggs on bare gravel, and sometimes they'll pile up a few stones or sticks around it later. The young are very exposed, and the female is famous for pretending she has a broken wing. She does this behavior as a decoy to lure away any predator that might be getting near her young. Killdeer are related to shorebirds, though, and it is fascinating that during migration they seek out ponds. I was also interested to see this killdeer standing on one leg. Apparently this is not an energy-intensive posture for a bird. The hip joints swivel so that it is over the foot and locks into position. So this killdeer doesn't waste any energy trying to balance in this position, which we would find this very difficult to do. And this killdeer is actually reaching over backwards and either cleaning its feathers or reaching for oil to spread on its feathers. I thought these were a pair of gadwall, but Sonia reassured me that these are American mergansers. I love this photo of the Midland painted turtle. This dark butterfly mark on the plastron is diagnostic. They are quite omnivorous and eat a wide variety of things. Marina and I talked about picking up frogs and turtles. One way we can do this safe is by washing our hands in the pond water where we found the animal, or rubbing mud on our hands, and this will remove any oils or things like sunscreen or bug juice or anything like that that might be on our hands and might harm the creature. Jim and I were so excited to hear about herons nesting at Courtright, and we really wanted to see them. We also love getting around by public transit and by bicycle. We found out we could get to Courtright from East York by taking the subway as far north as it goes to Vaughan Metropolitan, and it was an easy bike ride from there. We hiked on the marsh trail and got to the area where the herons were nesting. At first we only saw one, and then gradually the females raised themselves up and we saw there were 4 active nests. Definitely a fun thing to watch as the babies are born and learning to fly. We also saw the males and females changing places so that the females could go and feed. Last week, Ken Vogan played the song of this little bird, and some of us would correctly guess this is a wren. We always tell with this little tail poking up here. We thought this was a very cool shot of the chickadee disappearing into its hole in the tree there. And I thought this was a very cool hole, not one that a predator would easily, a snake or something that was going after chickadee eggs, not find as readily as sort of a round hole in the side of the tree that a woodpecker had made, for example. We're switching to forest habitat now. And this flower on the left is toothwort, common toothwort, and bloodroot again on the right, which I included because of the insect, the bee that is using the bloodroot. And I was very excited to see that because that is why we're trying to grow native plants, is so that those native insects have something to eat. And these are pictures on the right and the left from Jenny's garden, Abby and Amelia's mom. Valerian and wild ginger, and the trout lilies in the middle were from Courtright. So excited to see Jenny's garden with native plants, which will be so good for native insects. And this is actually purple bergamot as well. So what is this fascinating thing? We found this at Courtright. I believe it's a puffball, a type of fungus. And I was so curious what these ants were using it for. I know about ants carrying fungus into their wooden galleries to soften up the wood, but I had suspected they made a home inside this puffball, or they were using it for food. I actually joined a group online where people only talk about ants and showed this video. Someone said he thought it looked like foraging activity, so they were collecting food, but no one was sure. So we're still in the forest, although both these birds are common on meadows as well. I just thought this was a beautiful shot of 2 American goldfinches having a bath in a forest pool, and that's just really interesting to think of a forest pool being used for this purpose as well. This is a grackle on the left. Some people have problems with grackles at feeders, but I find they like corn, so if you only use black sunflower seeds in the feeder, they seem to stay away. And this is a bird that we've all been waiting for. Marina and Sonia sent this picture. We talked about some of the distinctive features, the yellow lores, the white throat, and the white and black stripes on the head. And it also has a really cool call, the 4 notes, da, 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 which we become very familiar with. So this is a bird we all look forward to seeing. It is one of our earliest migrants, and it is often under our feeders when it arrives. So that was great. And right after I saw Marina and Sonia's picture, I saw one in our own backyard. This is also an early arrival, and we listened to this beautiful call, which is so ethereal and beautiful. So this is a hermit thrush, has a rusty tail which it kind of pumps a little bit up and down, and streaking on the chest and kind of an olive back. So one of our earliest migrants, also a relative of the robin, and loves to hop along on fences or on logs, much like a robin. So this photograph was taken by Marina and Sonia in a conservation area, I think. And we discussed the fact that this is a cocoon. of a silk moth, so probably a cecropia moth, since most of the others wrap their cocoon in a leaf. So the cecropia moth caterpillar will spend the winter inside here and pupate in the spring and come out, and then they're just alive as an adult for about 3 weeks, and don't feed in that whole time, find a mate and reproduce, and then die. So very interesting lifestyle. Next week we're going to talk about deer, and we're very thankful for this beautiful photo. I wondered if this was a winter coat, because it doesn't look like the deer skin that we're used to. And Amara sent in these photos of herself picking up garbage and then putting up signs asking people to recycle. Thanks for doing this, Amara. We are so happy that you've taken on that challenge, and we will tackle plastic waste on May 12th. We're going to do a program where we ask everyone to bring in a piece of plastic, and we're going to talk about how it would be disposed of, how we can recycle it, or how we can not use it at all. So thanks very much. And this is a reward. Amara was out doing this, and she got to see this little mallard duck. And that is often the fun of being out in nature, even picking up garbage, is that we get to see cool things. So thank you for those photos, Amara.